From Las Vegas, Nevada, it is the USL Championship in the Western Conference tonight as the Las Vegas Lights welcome Monterey Bay FC. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, happy to have you with us tonight. Both teams looking to jump up the standings in the Western Conference, brought to you by Amar Medic West. And of course, we start with Las Vegas. Big coaching change. Antonio Nocerino's side, of course, are no longer Antonio Nocerino's side. He's been let go by the Lights, and the acting coach, Giovanni Treise, he's going to take over as the acting head coach. And Marion, the results, particularly of late, had a lot to do with this choice.
Everything from top to bottom ultimately had something to do with this. You alluded to the results, but really if you have a look at these 2025 season statistics at the most granular level, it screams that there was a recession from their 2024 season. The thing that sticks out most to me is the fact that those clean sheet 6 are very misconstrued, right? Those came at the beginning of the season, and while Reiko Rosarina has been fabulous and will continue to be a star of this, those 6 clean sheets came when teams were still trying to figure out their attacking identity. And as that attacking identity has been figured out, this is a team that has struggled to get on the score sheet, and they've relied on Reiko Rosarina to be big time for them in between the sticks.
And the Lights are taking on a Monterey Bay side that are starting to roll again in all competitions, and Adam Larson's been a big part of that.
Adam Larson is starting to get going, a player that we haven't seen near enough of, and a player that you are so excited to see more consistent minutes if you're a Monterey Bay fan. He's got duality in his game, his ability on the ball, but also his ability to strike from distance. I am interested how his relationships start to improve on the pitch.
Monterey Bay are in Vegas on the back of 3 straight wins in all competitions, and the Lights are trying to end a 6-match unbeaten run in all competitions where they have not been able to get a victory. They'll hope to turn it around tonight and end that run without a win at Cashman Field this evening.
As a Great Clip salon stylist, I love giving customers the look they want. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. And when I see that confidence at the end of the cut, that's everything to me.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clip
Hey you! Yes, you! Right now, only at Finley Toyota get a Terrible's $500 gas card with the purchase of any new Tacoma or Tundra in stock. Hurry in, offer ends June 30th only at Finley Toyota.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Tonight's match is presented by the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Remember to change your watering clocks for summer. Water and plant trees only 4 days a week. By Great Clips. And by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Sean and Marion back here with you. We jump into the starting lineups for both teams, brought to you by the Richard Harris Law Firm. And acting head coach Giovanni Traise trots out a pretty strong attacking lineup for the Lights tonight.
Couldn't agree more, and we have no idea exactly what we're going to see. Are we going to see massive changes? Are we going to see just a bit more freedom from this group? But I can tell you from this lineup, they are already trying to unlock Valentin Noel a bit more.
And on the other side of things for Jordan Stewart and Monterey Bay, they have just one win away from home in the league so far this season, but they're red hot in all competitions coming in.
And it's really just been small mistakes on the back line for this Monterey Bay side. They need to start trying to ignite their attack a little bit earlier on into matches so they take some of that defensive pressure off. Adam Larson, as we talked about in the open, going to be a key piece in that.
Well, it's certainly an intriguing matchup, a ton of storylines, really on both sides of the ledger here. Of course, everyone is going to be curious to see how the Lights play tonight after Antonio Nocerino was let go. And again, 5 straight losses, 6 winless in all competitions for Las Vegas coming in. They've been outscored 15-1 during that stretch. The Lights need things to change as they're currently just one spot off the bottom of the table. And for Monterey Bay, in their dark blues tonight, they're hoping to make it 4 wins in a row in all competitions. And they are, of course, also hoping that they can come on the road and end some of the road struggles that they've gone through so far this season. The Lights are in light blue, and they are going from right to left here at Cashman Field in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, one of the final games of the day, a packed day of USL Championship action. And our referee, Christian Campo Hernandez, is already on the scene. A word for Younes Boudadi and a free kick, it looks like, or at least a stoppage here. It is the first meeting of the season between the Lights and the Seasiders. Last time they met was September 14th of last year, and it was here at Cashman Field. It actually ended in a 0-0 draw that night. It's actually the only draw these two teams have had in the modern USL Championship play. Played all the way back for Nico Gordon, formerly of North Texas and MLS Next Pro. Little dink down the line from Miles Lyons, trying to find Rebelar. Adrian Rebelar, I should say. Ends up getting dispossessed. Nice hold-up play. Rodriguez finding Valentin Noel. And Noel surges forward. Switch of play to Joe Zhao on this near side. Falls away from him. Rebelar wins the ball back. And then a challenge from Gartig. The referee is going to stop the play there. Free kick.
No need for that challenge in that moment, but already, we said it when we saw this lineup come in for Las Vegas Lights, many numbers pushing forward. Sean, there was a time of this Las Vegas Lights 2025 season where often there were 2 players in the attacking third at any given time, and that was it, right? There was no willingness for the team to get forward because they were locked into such a defensive mindset. And already in that last sequence, we saw at least 7 light blue jerseys surging forward.
Here comes Monterey Bay marauding into the penalty area here. That was Fonguk getting a shot away for the Seasiders. Swept up by Christian Pinzon, part of a potentially electric front 3 that the Lights have at their disposal tonight. Pinzon, Rodriguez, and Noel. And if the Lights are going to turn things around, you do feel that those 3 need to get more involved, particularly in chance creation and goal contributions. Noel has only scored once in the league this season. He's surging forward here. And he was dispossessed fairly, in the opinion of the referee, and Monterey Bay are back on it. Gartig played it forward, and then Leal touched ahead by Pinzon. Far side, Sean Smart. And the lights will reset. Back to Gartig and then Nate Jones. This is Gennaro Nigro. The lights are coming off a 3-0 defeat a week ago against San Antonio on the road. Couple of heavy defeats to Sac Republic, once in the league, once in the Jaeger Cup as well. And it's just kind of started to fall off the tracks a little bit for the Lights, who for a vast majority of this season have been in the top 8, but now have slipped all the way down towards the bottom of the table. And that did lead, of course, to Antonio Nocerino's now departure. We'll get to see if maybe we'll see a more free-flowing attacking style. Will a lot of things change? Will not so many things change? That's something that Jordan Stewart talked to us about earlier in the week, is that it's tough to prepare for a team that just let their coach go, because really it's all on the table. Everything could change, nothing could change, somewhere in the middle. And Jordan Stewart said, listen, we're just going to give the guys as much information as we possibly can. We don't want to overload them with too much, but we want to make sure they're ready for just about anything so that they can adjust on the fly throughout the game. That's a good ball down this far side. Picked up by Elijah Paul. Of course, had a very excellent start to the season. And Monterey Bay are into the penalty area here. And the cross looks to have been blocked out of play. It is going to be a corner after a nice marauding run into the penalty area by Alex Dixon, who's still kind of getting himself back into the fold.
It's a promising start for Monterey Bay. And so much of what their success relies upon today is the recognition from their midfielders. There's going to be a lot of crowding for the Las Vegas Lights in spaces that they can exploit in those central pockets. They did just that to earn this corner kick.
Adrian Rebelar to deliver. Goes right to that near post. It is deflected away. And Rebelar will let it roll out for a Union throw. Fanguk. Ends up resetting the play all the way back from Monterey Bay. Carlos Guzman. Back into Fanguk's path. Monterey Bay, especially in recent times, have kind of dominated this head-to-head. Last 6 meetings between these two. Of course, Monterey Bay became a club 2022 in the USL Championship level. Monterey Bay have won 4 out of 6. The one draw we talked about last time they were here, and then only one Vegas win as a challenge comes in there, and the referee does go to the pocket as well. It's a yellow card.
Well, Elijah Paul's been active already. And look at the turn, right? The willingness to play on the half turn, use the pursuit of the defender to his advantage, and welcomes the contact. Very well done from Elijah Paul.
And Nate Jones was booked for dragging Paul back. Glimpse there at Raiko Arozarena, who has had a very strong start to the season. He has 5 of Vegas's 6 clean sheets. Anton Soyberg, who scored the winning penalty for Monterey Bay last time out against Lexington. Takes aim at goal. Oh, and he hits the crossbar. The follow-up attempt is skied into the seats. What a strike by Soyberg, and he's so unlucky.
What skill Anton Soyberg has on these set-piece moments. That ball, if it would have been out 3 more yards, would have had just enough finesse to dip down beyond the crossbar.
He already has 3 goals and 2 assists in the league for Monterey Bay this season. And he was inches away from a goal of the week candidate. On near side, this is Nate Jones to move the Lights forward. Reset to Gartig, who's under pressure from Paul. Has an outlet in Younes Boudadi. And coming into the night is actually just 74 minutes away from hitting 10,000 in the regular season in the USL Championship. And here's Gennaro Nigro weaving his way into the penalty area for Las Vegas. Finds Noel. And Pinzon was not able to get a touch onto it. Fangak emerges for the Seasiders. And Alex Dixon has a chance to stretch his legs out this far side. Paul making a good run to meet him. Revelar tries to return the favor, and Arozarena, taking out everyone in his path, is able to get to the ball first.
We've seen Elijah Paul in the central pockets, and now we're seeing just how dangerous he can be in the wide areas as well. That combination play with Revelar has been very effective for them, as goalkeeper positioning a bit questionable. And in action here.
It's had a good pace. First 10 minutes here at Cashman Field. Will be a reset for Nico Campuzano, who's been wonderful for Monterey Bay so far this season. Giovanni Troise, the acting head coach tonight for the Lights after Antonio Nocerino was let go. Nico Campuzano leads the league coming into the weekend with 48 saves. And again, entering the weekend, that is 16 more saves than everybody else in the USL Championship. And on top of that, he's had multiple saves of the week in the last couple of months. He has just been in scorching form for Jordan Stewart's men.
That's good and bad, right? A lovely stat to have, and to know that you can rely on your goalkeeper to come up and keep you in games, win you games in certain moments. But also tells me that far too many chances he's having to see game to game. And that's what we talked about in the open a little bit, right? Just little nuances to how they're getting pulled out of their defensive shape a bit too easily. As matches go on, the fatigue starts to set in, and ultimately it just needs to be a bit more focus from Jordan Stewart's side. But I have to argue that when you are constantly having to chase the game from a defensive perspective, that burden starts to weigh on you. So I would actually challenge the attackers here tonight for Monterey Bay. Go out, get us a lead, right? Let's see what it feels like to play with a lead, because so often in the last stretch of matches, they've been playing to chase the game.
Well, that was a loose touch by Gordon. Owen Rodriguez tried to catch Campuzano out. And in the end, it's a wasted opportunity. The Lights had a couple of numbers moving forward, including Pinzon and Noel. Rodriguez kind of takes the easy way out in the end. That's another player the Lights would love to get going a little bit more often. Is now up to 3 goals. Johnny Rodriguez would just lead the Lights in USL Championship play, along with Noel, Pinzon, Joe Zhao, who begins the night on the bench. They'd love to get more goal contributions out of those guys. That's really been the one big problem, top of the list for the Lights. Just those 7 goals so far this season, and 18 conceded, but 7 goals is by far the lowest in the USL Championship to this point in the season. Challenge comes in there, Nigro tripped up.
And I want to go back to something that you were saying before an attacking sequence occurred, and it was the 6 clean sheets, right, for Las Vegas. And I want to be really clear, that can't go unnoticed, right? There were some really early returns for Antonio Nocerino's style and the way that he was forcing his team to be disciplined defensively. But you also have to look at that stat with context, and those 6 clean sheets came very early in the season. So many teams are trying to figure out their attacking identity. And as teams started to figure out that attacking identity, there was never any evolution of the defensive shape, and there was never any evolution of the attacking shape going forward. And so teams just continued to break them down. And Sean, it felt like there were never moments where this team went down that they had a chance to come back.
Noel brushed off it, and then it goes out of play for a Lights throw. Those 6 clean sheets, by the way, are still tied for the most in the USL Championship so far this season. Again, the recent form, not just in the league, but in Jaeger Cup as well. Lights have just been going in the wrong direction in every sense. Hoping that tonight could be the springboard to start turning things around. Nigro was dug out by Pinzon. And then Nigro is bailed out. It's kept alive here, and it ricochets towards the byline. But even Sean Smart will not be able to catch up to that. Although it did take a deflection. It's going to be a Vegas corner.
As we continue to talk about players who we want to see get more involvement, play with a bit more freedom, Sean Smart at the top of my list. A player who is so impactful for this group in the 2024 season. On both sides of the ball, have not seen near enough of him.
It's a Richard Harris Law Firm corner. Pinzon will deliver, and will deliver short to Nigro. And Nigro trying to get it back to Pinzon. It all gets blown up on that far side, and Monterey Bay handles it defensively.
And the strength of what Antonio Nocerino had his team doing is you're actually very much forcing attacking teams to think, right? You're forcing them to be creative because you're congesting the central pockets. You're causing the seams to be a bit more narrow. You're asking for the attackers to present perfection to you. But the weakness to that shape and to really kind of this idea of being okay with 1-0 wins, 0-0 draws, right? The weakness to that is the discipline that it takes over the course of 90 minutes. And then you compound those 90 minutes in week over week, and all of a sudden things start to get a bit taxing. So mentally, not only is it fatiguing, it also tests your willingness to constantly chase. And there are moments from a physical standpoint, right, that shadow defending in that kind of mid to low block, you're sprinting 10 yards to the left, you're sprinting 10 yards to the right, you're tracking up, you're tracking back. And those all start to add up physically on the legs as well. And I think there were several times where that physical fatigue started to take note. And what we were talking about earlier, it really denied this Las Vegas Light side any chance at potential comebacks late in games.
Rebelar for Monterey Bay. Gets it back to Larson, fought through a couple of challenges, and it trickles out of play. Goes back to the Lights on the near side. Just another reason among many why this game is important tonight is that if Las Vegas can pick up 3 points, it puts them right back near that 8th spot, that final playoff spot in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. Never bad to be around there, especially after a rough run in all competitions. And pending results elsewhere, Monterey Bay, if they win tonight, could actually go joint top of the table in the West as well, alongside New Mexico United, who let a lead slip earlier at Lexington and lost by 2-1. So the door is open for Jordan Stewart's side to get right back to the top of the West, and they began the night in 6th. That's how tight it is right now.
These are two teams just looking for confidence right now. Both of them have shown very positive things on both sides of the ball at different parts of the season, particularly this Monterey Bay side, who started the season red hot. And things have been in a bit of a lull. But you get one win tonight, all that goes away.
Dixon was dispossessed there. The Lights cleared it, but are not going to be able to keep possession as it rolls over the halfway line. Well, we mentioned the all-time series. It's actually been quite some time since Vegas beat Monterey Bay. You have to go back to that 2022 season, September 27th. It was here at Cashman Field. The Lights won 4-0 over Monterey Bay. That's their only win over the Seasiders in the fixture's history in the USL Championship, and they have not managed to beat the Union since. That's a slight surprise, of course, because Vegas beat pretty much everybody last year. Revelar tried to cross it past Jones, and the initial ruling, I think, was a corner. It's going to be changed to a throw-in, at least based on the flag positioning of the assistant. Shot from Paul is blocked. Revelar follows up, and a Rosarena is there. Outlet to Rodriguez. Who waits for help. Jordan Stewart appreciates the fact that Rodriguez wasn't given any options there, and Nigro will reset in the end to Dowda Peters.
I think Peters brings a lot for this Las Vegas Lights side. I think he brings a lot of balance. I think he brings the ability to play out of that single pivot. And when we're talking about trying to get more goal contributors, into the final third and not have to worry so much about the stability on the defensive side of the ball, Peters is a key part in that conversation, unlocking players like Pinzon and Valentin Noel.
Well, bodies flying as the referee stops the sequence there. Looks like it's going to be a Monterey Bay free kick. The Las Vegas Lights are proud to be working with the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Remember to change your watering clocks for summer. Water plants and trees only 4 days a week. Revelar off a nice little layoff by Larson. And then eventually the referee has stopped it here. Peters isn't exactly thrilled. We'll take another look.
Not really sure what Peters has to be arguing about.
I think he would maybe tell you that Revelar went to ground a little bit easy there, but there was contact. Last time I checked, I don't think the Oscars take place during this time on the calendar,
you might want to
unfortunately for
recheck, because that was
Revelar.
a very, very good performance.
Yeah. Campuzano over the top. Lights are able to get to the first ball, but Monterey Bay follow up beautifully on the second ball. The interplay is gorgeous, and the shot stings the palms of Rosarena. Elijah Paul follows up and then gets it back on the byline. And I think there was a little bit of a coming together there. Free kick for Las Vegas after some gorgeous interplay from the Seasiders.
Well, I've loved the get of Sammy Gadiri and the insertion, what he brings to this Monterey Bay lineup. He's so technical on the ball. His ability to defend 1v1 when they really needed some defensive stability. You get a two-way player in Sammy Gadiri. Also veteran, right? So much of the early conversations with Jordan Stewart in this Monterey Bay side were just, hey, we need some leadership, right? Some players on the field that have been there, done that, can be in different situations and have this real-time problem solving be a part of who they are.
Dixon. Lovely ball onto this near side. Miles Lyons is going to step on into it. And Rosarena saved it. Out for a corner.
I even think this took a deflection, and Raico Rosarena read it the entire way. That was a missile going to the top bin, and a small deflection put some nasty spin to that ball.
Well, the Rosarena's already been called upon, I should say, a couple of times. They gave Miles Lyons maybe too much time and space there. He shows you what he can do on the ball. Richard Harris Law Firm corner for Monterey Bay on this near side. Anton Soyberg hoping to pick somebody out. And the referee's trying to make sure that nobody is doing anything untoward. Oh, and the ball was still sitting on the top of the net. Good catch by the referee there. Almost became a Where's Waldo moment. If we took a freeze frame of that, I'm not sure how many people would have been able to spot where the ball was. Soyberg's ball in is really well placed. The header, not so much. It's a goal kick. Now some positive moments for Jordan Stewart's side that we're kind of going through a little bit of a rocky period going into Jägermeister Cup play in the last round. And Jordan Stewart told us earlier in the week the Cup kind of gave them a chance to reset, take another look, step back, get a refreshed view on how the season was going, on how they're playing, and things of that nature. And since then, they haven't dropped any points. 2 straight wins in Jaeger Cup play, and then that huge win against Lexington at home last time out. It's gotten them back on track in the league as well. And that's a team just using the Jägermeister Cup to help not only get their form back on track, but to help to get their regular season back on track.
And the biggest thing for me in all of that was just how Jordan Stewart handled and managed his team at that time, right? We can talk so much about tactics and the nuances of it. This game can get so complicated if we let it. And Jordan Stewart kind of peeled all that back, and he said, just go focus on competing, right? Just go out there and compete, beat the guy next to you. And kind of that simplistic approach, that winning mentality reminder from Jordan Stewart, I think is really the key that unlocked them, and something that I hope this Las Vegas Lights side does over the next few matches. Just put some freedom back into the game.
One thing Jordan Stewart said about that tough spell as well is, like, we still picked up some points, still able to grind out a few results, and it says a lot about a team that even during some of your tougher times in the season, the performances are still there, if not close to there, and they still were able to add on some points. Lions took on the shot earlier. Soyberg clips it out to the far side for Gadiri. And Alex Dixon with his first misplaced pass of the night. Up to that point, he hadn't put a foot wrong. Of course, Alex Dixon's another who's been around for so long now. It's his 3rd season with Monterey Bay, just his 6th appearance of the season. Been battling with some injuries after scoring 4 goals for Monterey Bay last year. Scored 12 in his debut season with the club, formerly of Hartford Athletic and Pittsburgh Riverhounds, of course. 2 very successful stints. Alex Dixon was actually on the last Hartford Athletic team that made the playoffs 5 years ago. Gordon back for Campuzano. And Guzman out wide. Pushing a chase. Monterey Bay, I think we're hoping for a foul there. It didn't come. Falls for Larson. Larson tries to squeeze it through to no avail. He gets it back on this near side. Tries to bend in another cross when Vegas didn't quite deal with that. Monterey Bay still with a chance here. It's Elijah Paul's header. Revelar back across looking for Paul. Lions into the mix, and off a ricochet, a Rosarena is on top of it.
A good spell of some recycled runs that ultimately amounted to nothing. And I have to give so much credit to Raico Rosarena. You know, we talk a lot, Sean. You and I, we have the privilege to cover so many teams in this league, and we've seen a tendency for goalkeepers to start cheating right off of that near post. They're expecting service, so they go to the numbers in the back post. And one thing that I've been so impressed with the Rosarena is his willingness to stay set, stay in position, let the play out in front of him, trust his reaction time. And that's been the most impressive part, right? That trust in his athleticism, that he's gonna get there, he's gonna be able to read that through traffic. And because of that, he makes the angles on goal very, very difficult for attackers.
We're in the middle of a Flow Mineral Spring Water hydration break with half an hour gone. We can kind of look back on how some of the game is played out, and certainly Raico Rosarena has been called upon for the Lights to make some saves in the early parts of this game, and he has stepped up.
And there has been a lot of different pockets that this Monterey Bay side has exploited, but there's been no hesitation from Raico Rosarena. In that moment, reads the play in its entirety, comes out brave, collects it, and then this, figures out that all of this play on the left-hand side, that's exactly what we were just talking about. His willingness to stay committed to that near post instead of cheating to the number, the runner at the central spot. That's what keeps this game level at 0-0. And then how about that? Just reading it through traffic, seeing right off the foot of Lions, even with the dip, even with the slight deflection. That is a big-time save. And we talk about goalkeepers being able to keep you in games, but what about the goalkeepers that can win you games? He is absolutely at the top of that conversation.
Well, Raico Rosarena is a Dominican Republic international and has had big moments for club and for country over the years, and has certainly helped to keep the Lights on terms through nearly 32 minutes of play. Now, Lights fans, you can scan the QR code on your screen for more on the official protein drink of your Las Vegas Lights. DrinkPromino.com to find out more. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, finishing up what's been a wonderful day of action all around the USL Championship. We've had drama galore. And let's be real, that is par for the course. I've always said this, the USL Championship's middle name is drama. It just seems to deliver week in and week out, and this weekend is no exception. This ball is fluttered forward onto the near side. Good initial touch by Gennaro Nigro. That was touched out of play. It's a Las Vegas throw-in just to the left of the Monterey Bay technical area. Throw-in towards Rodriguez. It's an overhead kick by Lions, and it's a Lights corner. So Las Vegas can get some numbers into the penalty area here. And corners are brought to you by the Richard Harris Law Firm. And Nigro will take it. And Nigro's ball in was well placed. It was headed away by Nico Gordon, only as far as Sean Smart, who resets Budati for Pinzon. Who then gets it back. Budati. Pinzon down the line for Smart. Nice overlapping run cross. He's going to be cleared away by Guzman. Out for a lights throw. Smart takes it quickly, gets it back from Pinzon. Ooh, Rodriguez back out wide. Peters. Ooh, was a good little spin towards the edge of the box. And that hold up there defensively from Fanguk is going to give the Lights a free kick.
Well, if you're a young player out there watching this game, I implore you to keep your eye on Sean Smart. Oftentimes, coaches always tell you, pass and move, right? You almost get nauseated hearing it as a young player. But Sean Smart, his willingness to do that is ultimately what earned his team this very dangerous free kick.
Had such a good year last year, Marion. You alluded to that earlier. Big part of the Lights side that got all the way to the Western Conference Final. And Pinzon and Nigro also were big pieces on that team from last year, trying to deliver for the Lights here with 10 minutes left in the half. It is going to be Nigro who plays it short. It's Valentin Noel. He speared it right through the traffic, but right at Campuzano.
I don't mind this at all. Valentin Noel can absolutely hit from distance, and I don't even mind the fact that that's a low-driven ball on the ground. It's unfortunate in terms of its accuracy, but the idea is very, very good from Las Vegas Lights on that free kick.
He almost hit it too well.
Technically such a skilled player. Also his intelligence of spatial recognition. That was one of the key points, key highlights for me regarding his 2024 season. He had this innate ability to be able to shift defenses, right, with his movement off of the ball, orchestrated so much.
Well, odd moment here. Soyberg was taken down as he passed the ball away. And I think the referee stopped it as Monterey Bay were about to gain an advantage. A yellow card, I think, was just handed out for Gartig. And here's the replay. Gartig maybe stamps on Soyberg there. I think that's why the yellow card comes out. I think Monterey Bay were not happy because they did thread the ball through to the edge of the box, but the referee had already called it back. And now Gartig and Jones, the two center backs for Las Vegas, are both on yellow cards. Las Vegas only has one defender as well off the bench tonight. That's Malik Howell, who of course is very good. But the depth is already a little bit not there for the Lights in that regard tonight at that particular position. Might be a conundrum for Giovanni Troise and the Light staff as the match moves along. Of course, we'll also keep an eye on it.
Well, Elijah Paul, I can guarantee you, is going to start asking questions of that back line. He's speedy, he's shifty, he's not afraid to welcome a bit of contact. You know that he has bookmarked both of those yellow cards in his mind.
A couple of games have just gone final in the West. Tulsa and Phoenix finishing 1-1. Big win for Danny Stones, Orange County. They go to El Paso, who have been so good, and they win 3-0 over Locomotive. That might be the result of the night.
Yeah.
The champions Colorado Springs up 1-0 right now against Oakland Roots, and our final game of the night that just kicked off a few moments ago, Sac Republic San Antonio, another juicy contest here in the West. is no score. We talk about a team needing 3 points. Orange County desperately in need of a victory, and Danny Stone's side are able to do it and do it in impressive fashion.
And what's so frustrating about that team is the talent on that roster, right?
Yeah.
And even the performances, if you watch them, they haven't been bad at all. And they had been at one point creating so many chances, expected goals so high, and just couldn't really seem to get it done. And actually, there, you just mentioned the champions, Colorado Springs, a team right now that also is in need of some confidence. That was probably one of the best performances from Orange County, was against that Colorado Springs side, but they did it by way of their defensive structure, and now perhaps we're seeing both of those be put together. Also, would you have believed me last year if I told you Tampa Bay winning over Miami was an upset?
Probably wouldn't have.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that kind of year.
Oh, how the turntables.
Miami just had a really impressive win last week at Rhode Island and jumped in, very firmly in, to the top 8 in the East.
All that to say, especially as it relates to this Las Vegas light side, there is not one team. I take that back. There's only a couple of teams, I would say, that it's time to hit the panic button in terms of where they stand with how tight the standings are, as you so greatly laid out for us. And sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the performances, right? Get caught up in the trends of, well, we haven't been scoring, we haven't been this. But really, if you take all that out of it, you just look at the numbers that are presented to you in terms of the standings, no team is out of it.
Nigro slides it through, and the referee, after it did take a little deflection back off, is going to give a goal kick. Just off of Leal.
Excellent defending.
Well, Nico Gordon was a heck of a story last season in MLS Next Pro, played for North Texas of the FC Dallas organization, and they were by far the best team last year. They won the championship as well, and so many of those players have now been called up to play for FC Dallas, as that system tends to work. Nico Gordon, not as lucky, but has come to the USL Championship and has shown his class constantly this season. One of the players that Jordan Stewart has been incredibly happy with, and you just got a great example of why there. That ball is clipped over the top. Guzman is there on the cover. This time Smart watches it bounce out of play. With 3 minutes and stoppages left in the half, it is a goal kick for Monterey Bay. A little bit of hesitation from Peters. He does get the ball upfield. Sean Smart trying to bend that ball in behind for Rodriguez. That was the right idea. And then good pressure here. Lions tracked down by Leal. Leal again. Excellent work. Gets past Lions. Fights it through to Rodriguez. Peters sliding it through for Noel. And then back out wide here. Smart. First time ball by Nigro comes up short. And it's cleared by Lions at the end of the sequence. But here's Peters. Smart with a clever little touch. Smart gets it back from Rodriguez, and his shot was blocked. Nigro bends the ball in, and it is headed down looking for Rodriguez, but the flag was up. Good spell for the Lights, just no end product.
moving the ball so well in that last sequence. They started on the right-hand side and ended on the left-hand side. Sean Smart being an orchestrator of so much of it.
Giovanni Treise has to like some of that he just saw. So you can tell Lights fans, you can scan the QR code on your screen and check out the new Family 4-pack. Some pressure here from Dixon. Arozarena clears it away. It's a Vegas throw, it's taken quickly. This is Noel, who's dispossessed. The Lights, though, fighting to try to keep it going. Nico Gordon emerges, loses out to Nigro. Jones for Leal. Played back to the halfway line as we're into 3 added minutes. At the end of the half, Monterey Bay were off to a very good start, but the last 10 minutes, the Lights have looked more and more active. They're on the front foot again. Johnny Rodriguez holds it up. Near side Nigro. Pinzon for Gartig and Peters. Nigro clips it into the penalty area. Big chance here for Las Vegas. And the shot sputters just wide. Sean Smart not able to hit the target. There may have been a block in there.
And Peters, we talked about the balance that he brings. It allows for Nigro to be involved consistently in the attack. That's a wonderful delivery to the back post, and Sean Smart wanted to see more of him. What a touch. Just gets away from him, and that's a great last-minute intervention as well from Carlos Guzman.
Hands on Vegas heads. Still have the corner. And from the corner, it's headed just wide. Las Vegas will get a third try at it. They take it short as we look at the replay here. Now we go back to live action. A third chance. Campuzano makes the catch. 3 big opportunities, and the Lights cannot get it on target. A really good flurry from Las Vegas at the end of the half. And Monterey Bay come up the other end. Arozarena makes the catch. Still 50 seconds left in the half here. Both of those 2 chances, the 2 initial chances for Las Vegas, agonizingly wide. Another ball clipped over the top. Rodriguez was the target. He will not get there. I think it's fair to say that Monterey Bay have played their part in this first half. A lot, I'm sure, for Jordan Stewart to like. But Las Vegas finishes the half very, very strong with an energy that we really haven't seen from them in quite a few weeks. Big chances at either end. Neither team able to scratch across a goal.
Yeah, ultimately Monterey Bay is lucky to come into the locker room without having conceded a goal, and the change in tempo is a direct reflection of a bit more willingness from Las Vegas to press and ask questions of the Monterey Bay backline. Can they build out under pressure? And so far in that last 15 minutes, the answer is no. And not only that, but Las Vegas Lights did a tremendous job at taking their defensive wins and turning them into attacking victories as well.
Well, the plot thickens as we head towards half number 2 here in Las Vegas. And yes, there are some people who have made the trek from Seaside to be here tonight as well. It's been a good one out west between Las Vegas and Monterey Bay. 0-0 at the half. We'll look around the league when we come back.
Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We are proud to offer 9 locations across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
At comprehensive cancer centers, the most advanced treatments and breakthrough research are helping our patients thrive. But some of our most powerful treatments are preventative. This begins together in our community through awareness, outreach, education, and support. From healthier living and self-checks to screening for early detection, we can now find and treat some cancers before they strike. We're doing this together, Southern Nevada, and teamwork saves lives.
Time here in Las Vegas, 0-0 between the Lights and Monterey Bay in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. The second half coming up in just a moment. But first, look around the USL Championship, some of the best goals from the last week.
Enjoy from distance, force the save from Matt Levy. That was fired in with pace.
The nice moves. Lays one across. Into long. He does it again. The unstoppable scorer. Notches the first for Naples.
Began this season 0-4-1 as this is swung in by Armanakis towards the back post. Oh, what a save by Mora!
Gains and falls, and how about that? Marlon Vargas, take a bow.
Sean and Marion back here with you. Team
touch, chance on goal, out comes Peñaranda, but it's a simple tap in for the man in form. It's that man again, the number 13, Andy Cabrera. He can't stop scoring at the moment.
Avila again for Cabrera! Andy Cabrera's brace in the 64th minute. El Paso on the board again.
Well, not just in the USL Championship, but really in all competitions. Andy Cabrera has been a big reason why El Paso have not just been good this season, they could be a team that's there at the end of the season.
And likely the biggest change in terms of 2024 form and 2025 form, and his form right now is paying dividends. I loved what he said. He said, I'm grateful for this award, but it's all about our team right now, and our team is continuing to put individuals into success. Sean, incredible note that this is only the second player in Locomotive history to receive the USL Championship Player of the Month, dating back to 2019.
It's a bit of a surprising step, but I must say, it is well deserved, and Locomotive on the whole have been playing really, really well. We've got a good one here between the Lights and Monterey Bay. No score. We'll have the second half coming up in a moment. News and notes and a look around the league scoreboard when we come back.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load off it. Take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
How does Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water keep you in the game? We always source our water directly from the natural spring to fuel every body, no matter how you like to move it. So whether you're chasing your goals or just staying active this summer, make sure to stay hydrated with Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Oh my goodness! Forward Madison finds the equalizer lane!
This inside, bang! Out in front, Westchester.
Halftime here in Vegas. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew. No score yet between the Lights and the Seasiders of Monterey Bay. As we get a chance to look around the rest of the USL Championship, Best Western gives you news and notes. How about a transfer record? Luis Alvarez going to the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who need some reinforcements at the moment, although they did win earlier tonight against Miami. And then huge news, Marion, Sacramento getting closer to that new 12,000 capacity privately funded new stadium.
The renderings of that place look absolutely incredible, and what a moment for a club that has meant so much to USL Championship, one of the teams that continues to have such pride in their crest, such pride in their community. Great to see them get this.
And of course, one of the big storylines from our game, Antonio Nocerino parting ways with Las Vegas, a mutual parting of the ways there, as Las Vegas is trying to bounce back and get a win here tonight. Best Western scores from around the league, couple of notable results. Charleston winning at Hartford, Loudoun beating Detroit, And Rhode Island finally getting that first win at Centerville Bank Stadium thanks to a late penalty from Maxi Rodriguez.
Yeah, really good to see from Rhode Island, a team who has so much talent but hasn't quite been able to put it together. And how about Lexington finally getting a win over big-time New Mexico United?
And to come back as well, that's a big win for them. Louisville putting 4 past Birmingham, they win 4-2. Switchbacks are ahead. We mentioned it earlier. Orange County getting a huge result at El Paso.
I have to talk about this Lou City side. Truly, the way that they are playing on the ball right now, I know that they're conceding goals a bit, but they look almost unbeatable.
Really, really impressive against Mark Briggs' Legion tonight. Look at the Medic West Western Conference standings, and again, could be a chance for Monterey Bay if they win tonight to jump up to joint first place, get some games in hand and things of that nature involved as well. Las Vegas could still get over that playoff line if they can come back and win as well tonight. We'll see how all of that plays out. That is the live table, so some points could still be added, of course, in the second half of our game between the Lights and Monterey Bay. 0-0, we'll have highlights, stats, and the second half kick after the break.
As a Great Clip Salon stylist, I love giving customers the look they want. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. And when I see that confidence at the end of the cut, that's everything to me.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We are proud to offer 9 locations across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
Hey, you. Yes, you. Right now, only a finito to get a Terrible's $500 gas card with the purchase of any new Tacoma or Tundra in stock. Hurry in, offer ends June 30th only at Findlay Toyota.
Tonight's match is presented by Desert Radiology, by Comprehensive Cancer Centers, and by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Halftime highlights between Las Vegas and Monterey Bay. It might be 0-0, but there's been plenty of chances.
End-to-end, box-to-box, and a lot of creativity in the final third. Not only that, but it's been met with some big-time saves on both ends. Raiko Rosarena showing up big, no hesitation with him coming off his line early in this match. And really, it felt like it was all Monterey Bay. They had a lot of success, especially on the far side, between Elijah Paul, Sammy Gadiri, and Alex Dixon. The combination of those 3 players opened up a lot of pockets, but Raiko Rosarena there to meet him every step of the way. In the 24th minute, a lovely switch of the point, and how about that from Lions? My goodness, testing all limits of the Las Vegas Lights goalkeeper. A nasty bend to that one, ends up getting stuck on the goal, and we almost had a Where's Waldo moment. And not only did Monterey Bay have some success in the attack, but this Las Vegas Lights side really started to ramp things up in the dying 10 minutes. They upped their defensive pressure. Sean Smart was very, very involved in the final third, and they had some very quality opportunities.
But both teams are still looking for that all-important first goal. What's turned out to kind of even out in the match as far as the chances and certainly the momentum as the second half begins at Cashman Field in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lights are going to be going from left to right in the second half, and alongside Marion Crowder and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. Happy to have you with us. Excited to see how this second half plays out. Really good pace to that first half, a lot of good chances in that first half. Does feel like a goal is on the way. Near side, Budati down the line. This is Sean Smart, who maybe came the closest of anyone to scoring in that first half. Not to be, at least for now. Arozarena able to pick out Valentin Noel on this near side. Noel gets it back from Rodriguez. Rodriguez to Noel. Noel switches it out to the far side and made a good run as the shot comes in. Campuzano makes the stop on the Nigro attempt.
How Campuzano reads that in traffic. We talked a lot in the highlights about Raiko Arozarena. Campuzano has been excellent all season, showing what he can do as well. And you're seeing already a little bit of the nuances to how Las Vegas wants to build.
Clipped onto this near side for Smart. Smart spinning, gets to the byline, and he's brought down. Everyone looking over to the referee, who does not give a penalty. And it's another heavy collision here. Referee waits for an advantage and then eventually comes back to that collision. Well, a lot to dissect from that sequence.
No doubt there's contact there, and the home fans are absolutely right. They've got a case to be booing our head referee, as Sean Smart had clear advantage, and Sammy Gadiri gets all of that left leg and none of the ball.
Well, that is a friendly reminder that there is no VAR. The referee does not have an opportunity to go back and check that. If he had, he surely would have come to a different conclusion. Play continues as Monterey Bay are let off the hook. Soyberg somehow is able to get away from the challenge from Peters. Soyberg goes on. It comes off of Paul for Revelar, who resets for Lions. Revelar again. Cross into the middle. Paul tried an overhead kick and commits a foul. Well, it is all happening in these first 3 minutes at the start of the second half.
Well, keep your eye as we take a look at this replay. Keep your eye on the high boot as this ball is put into the mix. And I think that you said something about the Oscars not being this week, but
Yeah, I'm told it's not happening right now.
Okay, I don't know if they know that.
We may have to get word to them.
I love the effort, though. And look, when it's been a game that, as you mentioned, it's been high tempo, right? And I actually think that that bodes in favor of both of these sides. I think that they have players that can thread very narrow channels. I think they have very skilled players on the ball. And so anytime that you can use that high tempo moment to your advantage in transitional attack, you're going to. So completely understand why the center back for Las Vegas Lights wants to slow the game down a bit.
Oh, lovely flick here around the corner for Rodriguez. Touched away onto this near side. Vegas will take the throw. Smart gets it right back into play for Leal. And Leal clips it towards the backside of the 18-yard box. And Pinzon had his shot saved by Campuzano, but the referee brings it to a halt. Did the offside flag go up there? Tough to tell.
And it's really intelligent from Pinzon to position himself outside the frame of goal. And he was pointing to an offside position.
Here's Funguk for Monterey Bay. Trying to find Dixon on the near side. It's headed back into the path of Sammy Gadiri. Funguk again. And Dixon tried to fit it right back to him, picked off. Noel up ahead. And then Monterey Bay were able to surround, trying to get the ball back, but they do so unfairly. It's taken quickly for Rodriguez. Good switch of play onto this far side. Nigro clipping it. Rodriguez did save it, but Monterey Bay have it covered on this near side, at least for the moment. But they clear it out for a throw-in. Budati up ahead for Smart. Was forced to retreat. We get to the 74th minute and Younes Budati is still on the field. Will have hit 10,000 USL Championship regular season minutes in his career. Vegas switched the point of the attack. Cross in the middle is deflected. Oh, Sean Smart trying to wind up for that. Nigro deadens the ball and resets for Lille.
And I really like the recognition from the Las Vegas Lights to try and build up this right-hand side, because you have Sean Smart, you have Budati, but you're noticing that they are seeing Nigro push up, keep the shape expansive, and that big diagonal switch at the point is on. And if they can do it quickly and in a higher position, and then on the flip side, if Nigro can get that service in a bit quicker, I think it can be problematic, as Sean Smart is in a lot of pain.
Referee took a moment to mull that one over before giving Las Vegas a free kick. Well, the Lights are proud to be partnering with Desert Radiology as their official imaging partner for the 2025 season. Both teams are right on the edge, breaking the deadlock here. Great ball in behind. Needed a better touch from Valentin Noel. And the captain could not steer it on target.
Very intelligent pass, very intelligent run from both of those players. And it feels like a breath of fresh air. Truly it does, to see Christian Pinzon in a more free-roaming role, Valentin Noel in more advanced positions, more consistently.
Quick throw-in, maybe too quick. Lights were trying to work that very swiftly down this near side. Referee says they did not take it from the right position. Remember, Nate Jones and Elias Gartig are both on yellow cards still for Las Vegas. Monterey Bay, for now, in that category are clear. Gartig to the far side. Ends up getting nudged out of play. We should, of course, we were taking a look at scores from around the USL Championship. As Elijah Paul gets onto this here. And Gartig is going to take it off him and win a free kick. have to give a shout out to the USL Super League tonight as well, playing their first ever final. It was a Florida derby as well. And the Tampa Bay Sun in extra time win the first ever USL Super League crown at Fort Lauderdale United's expense. Just another huge day for the USL in general, not just in the championship and League One, but to see the Super League have such a successful inaugural season, culminating in what was such a dramatic final, is a massive, massive achievement. Meanwhile, Johnny Rodriguez tried to squeeze it past Campuzano after gliding past a challenge or two. Wins Las Vegas a corner.
And Johnny Rodriguez has been acting as a bit of a false nine, dropping deeper. And how about that footwork? Bet you didn't know he had that in him. And he says, guess what, I'm not done. I see a little bit of a window at the near post. And Johnny Rodriguez, his ability to drop back, connect the lines a bit more. His ability to turn and get faced up too. Very adequate for this Las Vegas light side.
Richard Harris Law Firm corner. Can Las Vegas use this momentum at the start of the second half to grab the lead? It's right into the mix. No one can get a definitive touch on it. Pinzon keeps it alive. And eventually Monterey Bay do clear it towards the halfway line. Quick re-entry though towards Nigro on this near side. And Nigro is dispossessed on the challenge by Elijah Paul. And Elijah Paul now looks to lead the break for Monterey Bay. Picking out Alex Dixon on this near side. Dixon across, and a Rosarena saves. Quick outlet onto this near side for Lille. Monterey Bay getting some changes ready. We'll get to that in a minute. And Lille is forced to slow it down just a tick.
And that last sequence, so much of it was so positive. It was that final pass. Adam Larson wanted that on the ground, threaded to the near post, so he could just clip it into the side netting. Just a bit of a different page for the attackers. That's the interesting part about this Monterey Bay team. They can be okay suffering, right? They're okay with allowing the other team to have the ball, and they can play not only transitional football as we just saw, but they absolutely can build when they need to as well.
Looked like 3 changes for Jordan Stewart. We'll get to that at the next stoppage. And of course, you mentioned it, Adam Larson is in very good form. Jordan Stewart's very happy with how he's been playing of late. Has scored 2 in his last 2 games in all competitions. Udadi. Lille on the turn. Didn't have time to fit it through. Gets it back from Smart. Lille evades the challenge. Sean Smart can pick out a cross here. It's gonna fall for Pinzon. Oh, completely miskicks it, but I think the whistle may have gone already.
Good whipped in ball from Sean Smart. And that's Valentin Noel just coming through the back of the Monterey Bay defender.
As we look at the replays here, Monterey Bay are getting the changes put together. It is going to be a triple change brought to you by Playbox. Sammy Gadiri, Alex Dixon, and Adrian Rebelar are all going to be taken out. Grant Robinson, Luke Ivanovic, and Mayele Malongo are all going to come on at the same time with just over half an hour to play. First changes either side have made tonight. Ivanovic has scored in the USL Championship this season, did so at Orange County earlier in the campaign. As Lille lays this off. Rodriguez, oh, it goes in! Well, I'm not fully convinced he meant that, Johnny Rodriguez, but frankly, it doesn't matter. It's a gigantic lift for Las Vegas, and on the hour, the Lights lead against Monterey Bay. Even Aiko Rosarena runs the length of the pitch to join in on the Vegas celebrations here.
Well, Lil has been an incredible player in the first half for this Las Vegas Lights side, and he continues that into the second. It's his ability to drive at the back line. It commits 3 Monterey Bay defenders, and Johnny Rodriguez just shadowing him the entire time, keeping the width expansive. And to your point, Sean, knowing he had numbers at the back post, just trying to put it into a dangerous area. And for as good as Johnny Rodriguez has been in that false 9 position, occupying dangerous spaces, he deserves that one.
It's gonna go down as Johnny Rodriguez's 4th league goal of the season. And my goodness, did the Lights need that so badly.
That's a huge moment. That's a huge moment in terms of everything that this group has gone through, right? Not only to start the season, you're coming in with a new manager, new identities, someone trying to implement a very new style of play to this group, albeit much of the same roster that was in the 2024 season. And they had to adapt, they had to change. They had some early success, and then it stalled out.
Up the other end. Soyberg tried to find a swift reply from Monterey Bay, not on a Rosarena's watch.
The Lights really had to fight through a lot of internal struggle, right? A lot of really daunting 90 minutes. And they come in with a little bit of energy with the new manager, a little bit of an insertion of freedom, a little bit of creativity in the way that they're playing so far in these 63 minutes, and it's a well-earned first goal of the game.
Well, so much has happened this week as far as changing of the guard here with Las Vegas, and Johnny Rodriguez gives a big hug to acting head coach Giovanni Traise.
Well, I will remind the viewers, it is not normal for a goalkeeper to go celebrate with the rest of the team on a 1-0 lead. This is a regular season match. We're not talking about playoffs. We're not talking about a final. And that just shows you how much this group has had to band together. It's excellent from Johnny Rodriguez.
Rodriguez is really starting to pick things up. Leal is brought down by Funguk, and that's got a yellow card written all over it.
Well, again, Johnny Rodriguez stepping off of the line a bit so that he can find some space. He does a quick check of the shoulder and makes Carlos Guzman pay, continues to play in the advantage. And that's been a key that's unlocked more verticality for Las Vegas going forward. That motion of Johnny Rodriguez checking back, it's been intelligent from Lil and Valentin Noel to release on the other sides of him.
First yellow card for a Monterey Bay player tonight for Funguk. All of a sudden, the Seasiders are in a bit of trouble here. Down a goal. Vegas is picking up momentum as the half moves along in search of a second here. It will be Nigro, it will be Pinzon. Nigro clips it in for Rodriguez, who scores again! Two goals in double quick time for Las Vegas. It's a brace for Johnny Rodriguez, who had only scored 3 goals to this point all season. And the Lights are 2-0 up with 25 minutes to play. That was just vintage Johnny Rodriguez.
Not only does he start the sequence that leads to this foul, he finished it. And Nigro has been impeccable in terms of his set-piece delivery. What timing of the run, what placement of the ball. That's not a lofted ball that Johnny Rodriguez has to go up and get over it and put it back onto the frame. That's a low-driven ball with perfect pace to it, where Johnny Rodriguez just has to help it in the direction it's already going, and you can absolutely see what it means.
Shades of Johnny Rodriguez in an Oakland shirt from last season. That's why they paid the money for him, for moments like this. He's on a hat trick. Vegas are in dreamland here, 2-0 up. And they're gonna bring on some reinforcements as well. Malik Howell and Joe Zhao are both going to come on. Xavi Nyolati is also getting prepared for Monterey Bay. Jones and Smart are going to make way for Las Vegas. Both are playbox substitutions. And Anton Soyberg is going to be brought off here for Monterey Bay. That'll allow Xavi Nyolati to get back into the fray for the Seasiders. He's also been dealing with injuries this season. Monterey Bay makes another playbox change. Jordan Stewart's down to his last sub here with 24 minutes left, and Monterey Bay are in a 2-0 hole. Grant Robinson's ball in is really well placed. And it flashes past everybody. It's a goal kick. Luke Ivanovic was the closest one to it.
I like the change of Xavi Nyolati into this match, though, because if you're Monterey Bay and you're wondering how you respond, well, you actually can get control of this midfield. I do believe that they have the skill and the intelligence to overload this Las Vegas Lights midfield. Las Vegas Lights, a tendency, as we've seen, to get a bit expansive. They have players that drift out of those central pockets into more of the wide channels, and when that happens, you need a player in a Monterey Bay uniform to be able to notice that, take control of it going the other way. Nyolati, definitely a player that can do so.
Las Vegas had only scored 1 goal in their last 5 in all competitions. Remember, they were outscored 15-1. They've scored 2 in 6 minutes here. Here is Nyolati testing a Rosarena who passes said test.
I also like the substitutions from Las Vegas that we also saw, adding some defensive stability. Obviously, center back on a yellow card, get him out of this. Don't even let it be a question.
So one thing is for sure, one thing that could change Vegas's fortunes around is more play like that from Johnny Rodriguez. There's been times this season where there's been questions about whether or not he's getting enough on the ball. Valentin Noel's been put into that category as well. When those two are humming, they're as good as any two at their respective positions in this league. And that alone could help get Las Vegas back on track. Monterey Bay, meanwhile, trying to get back on track on the night. Oh, it's crossed into the middle here. It sails out of play. Lights fans, scan the QR code on your screen to find out more about the official protein drink of your Las Vegas Lights. DrinkPromino.com is where you go. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew. Happy to have you with us. A brace from Johnny Rodriguez, who's now up to 5 goals in the league this season, has the Lights 2-0 up, 20 minutes away from a gigantic bounce-back win here tonight. A win, by the way, that would take Las Vegas from, at one point tonight, 11th in the table, back into 9th position in just a point off of 7th as Joe Zhao puts his hands together, realizing how close he was to maybe, just maybe, slamming the door shut. But a free kick goes Monterey Bay's way. Fangak. Played back by Ivanovic. 20 minutes to play of normal time. Miscommunication there allows Las Vegas to win the ball back, but it's easy for Monterey Bay to reset with Nico Gordon. Nyalati, loose touch. Rodriguez would lead the Lights forward here. Was not able to find a teammate on that far side. Valentin Noel, that said teammate, may have been in an offside position anyway. Remember, the Lights have not beaten Monterey Bay since September 27th, 2022, almost 3 years ago. Mayele Malongo, gorgeous cross after a brilliant turn. That's what he is certainly capable of. It does lead to a throw-in for the Union, who still have time left to get back into this.
And they need to continue to feed him, and not only him, but also Elijah Paul when he drifts into those wider areas. The key for Monterey Bay, if they're going to continue trying to play in the wide channels, is to get there quickly. Don't allow Las Vegas Lights time to shift in their defensive shape. Create 2v1s in the wide area. Get players like Mayele Malongo in 1v1 situations because he is lethal.
Vegas are getting another change ready here. We'll get to that in a moment. Robinson will switch the point of the attack, and it's miscontrolled on the far side. It is a Lights throw, and Vegas will make a change here. Christopher Pearson, he's getting prepared to come on here. And Pearson is going to replace Patrick Leal, who really helped to give the Lights a spark in the second half. It's a play box alteration.
Yeah, what a good shift from Leal. He was integral into pushing more numbers forward in the attack more consistently. I thought he did an excellent job recognizing the moments to drift out of those central spaces, and I thought he did an excellent job at recognizing the moments to stay and provide a little bit more defensive stability.
We're now into a Flow mineral spring water hydration break. And Johnny Rodriguez, my goodness, what a performance he's had so far in this second half. Certainly the first goal, maybe more of a cross was on his mind here, but both finishes are huge for the Lights, and the second one was just vintage Rodriguez.
And even leading up to this, there were a lot of moments for Johnny Rodriguez where he dropped off that back line, he got himself turned and faced up, and he proved that he could be dangerous, not only in moments like these, but also on the ball in 1v1 situations. I mean, what kind of fancy footwork do you normally see from a 9? Because that, for me, was impeccable and almost as impressive as some of the goals he scored tonight.
A J-Rod jolt for the Lights in this second half. So needed. And even the youngsters are bouncing here at Cashman Field, hoping that the Lights can see this out and pick up a gigantic 3 points. It really would be massive to end this 6-match winless run in all competitions. 5 straight losses on top of all of that at the moment. In a week, of course, again, where they said goodbye to Antonio Nocerino. Giovanni Traise, for now, he's the acting coach, and he's gotten in on the celebrations tonight. There's just been a weight at times lifted off the Lights after getting those 2 goals. And now, of course, the business end here of trying to negotiate the last 15 or 16 minutes or so.
And now it's got to be about a professional performance. And the tendency that I can see Las Vegas having now is, all right, goals are coming, right? We have enjoyed this tempo, and getting a little bit more like, let's push for another one. And there's got to be that professionalism to rein it back and realize that this is a Monterey Bay side who can hurt you at a moment's notice. They have got incredibly skilled individual attackers who can produce those moments of brilliance. And so now you cannot turn off, and you have to have this risk-reward attitude. Moments to go and try to get another one versus moments when to stay in that mid to low block.
A look at Rodriguez at it again. Lovely feet to get past 2 challenges here. Valentin Noel pulling the strings, and then it's threaded by Peters to Rodriguez. Just looking to get a hat trick there. The shot was blocked. And by the way, Younes Boudadi has now passed 10,000 minutes in his USL Championship career. We're in the 76th minute. He just needed 74 minutes. He joins that incredible club. And his career has just been a really impressive one. He's made stops with Hartford, Indy. He's actually a Reno player at the start of his USL Championship career back in 2020. 29 years of age, and now has passed the 10,000 minute mark. Here is Rodriguez hunting down a hat trick. Ilati steps in the way of the feed. Ivanovic. Now, Lights fans, you can scan the QR code on your screen now to find out how you can save on tickets through Flex Plans. Robinson played that into the middle. Again, the Lights do just about enough. Pearson on a swivel. Still has not definitively cleared this yet. Malongo and Zhao jousting. Great ball back in by Robinson. Oh, and it's just wide from Ivanovic, who wonders how he missed the target.
Racco Rosarena frozen still in that moment. And Grant Robinson, how key has he been since coming into this match? He's gotten forward, he's provided combination play, he provides a lovely switch of the point. And Ivanovic has to do a little bit better with that one.
Ivanovic was saying there was a deflection on that on the way through. Referee says no, it's a goal kick. Rosarena sends that forward. Vegas just look totally different than what we've seen from them the last few weeks. I do say sometimes the new manager bounce can play a role on nights like this, and the Lights just look filled with confidence. They've gotten better and better as the second half has moved along, and then the 2 goals have just taken it to a whole nother level from a confidence standpoint for Las Vegas tonight.
And you're absolutely going to take that, right? No matter what the root cause of it is, this is something, that confidence you speak about, that's something that they needed regardless of the reason that it came. And yes, oftentimes with the insertion of a new manager, you have a new voice at the helm, you have an insertion of new energy that innately comes with that. The question will be now, can you consistently produce this type of energy?
Lovely run by Gordon. Good ball in by Robinson, headed away. And helped along towards the halfway line where it's picked up by Guzman. And Robinson resets for Lyons on the far side, although he's not going to get there. Miles Lyons, hands on Monterey Bay heads as it goes back to Las Vegas.
I think the biggest green flag for me, though, in all of this is we had questions surrounding what the new management style was going to be, right? How much do you change? How much do you try and insert on day one? How much do you just kind of let the reins go and let these guys compete? And I feel like that was the approach tonight. They gave them a starting formation that was very attacking oriented. They put several players onto the pitch that needed to be on the pitch probably a bit sooner into this season. And then it felt like they just said, go be you. Go be who we brought you in here to be in the first place. And that sort of let loose of the reins, I believe, is what unlocks some of this freedom that we're seeing for Las Vegas here this evening. Because we'll remind you again, this is not that different of a roster than the team who had so much success in the 2024 season. It's not like they weren't capable of this.
You could argue the biggest loss from that team was Corey Bennett, and they replaced him with one of the best goal scorers in the league in Johnny Rodriguez, and Rodriguez is just starting to click. Obviously 2 goals tonight, has had just 3 before that this season. As we mentioned earlier, if he gets into full flight, look out. Lights thought there was a handball in there as Noel was moving forward. Lights are preparing a couple more changes. Could see a debut. Stefan Stojanovic, they just brought him on a permanent transfer from Tulsa. From a Philadelphia Union product. 30 in the light blue, bottom right of your screen. Might be getting ready to come on here. Goal kick for the Lights. 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And the referee now acknowledges the two Vegas changes. Dowda Peters is going to come off. Vaughn Koval will take his place, and then it is going to be a Stefan Stojanovic debut here, and he will replace Johnny Rodriguez, who is going to get a heck of a hand from the Cashman Field faithful. They're both playbox substitutions. And Johnny Rodriguez, I mean, that is what we've come accustomed to seeing from him. Can score in a multitude of different ways, can be very versatile in the attacking third. And even running forward with the ball tonight, maybe not something he's known as much for doing. That was even on point, and he really has put together a complete performance tonight.
We've talked so much about how good this moment is for the team, right? But when your goal scorer is having confidence battles, right, when they're having that scoring drought for them as an individual, that's not a place you want to be. And Johnny Rodriguez, such a confidence-oriented player, so not only massive for the 11 out there, the players on the bench, and for this community as a whole, but also quite massive just for Johnny Rodriguez and his continued confidence throughout this season.
Looks like Monterey Bay made their last change of the night. Fonguk, who was on a yellow card, will depart. And Pierce Galloway, who's actually played really well as of late, particularly, I should say, on a defensive side of the game. Jordan Stewart gave him a shout out when we talked to him this week, has come on to try to change Monterey Bay's fortunes down the stretch here. Still 8 minutes in stoppage time left for the Seasiders.
I still think there's so much potential for this Monterey Bay side. If they could find a quicker switch to the point, you can see just how quickly Las Vegas want to pin them into the wide channels. They bring a lot of numbers to either side. If you can involve your holding midfielder a little bit more, let them serve as that diagonal switch across and do it just a bit quicker, I think they can find a lot of success. But right now, I'm not sure anyone's telling them there's another side of the pitch.
Monterey Bay get into the penalty area here, but the ball behind from Paul is just a little bit too firm for Larson. He was not able to get there. Both Jordan Stewart and Giovanni Traise are out of changes now. This would be a tough one for Monterey Bay to take. They had just turned the corner with 3 straight wins, again 2 in the Jägermeister Cup, and then that big win last time out against Lexington at home a week ago. But we did mention the stat earlier. In 7 prior road games this season, Monterey Bay have won just 1 of them. And their road woes, despite some good positive moments tonight, maybe propping back up again here. It would be a 4th road defeat for Monterey Bay this season. 3 draws and then just the 1 win. Oh, Malongo, lovely take. But Joe Zhao gets in his way at the vital moment. And Malongo is going to be penalized. It's a free kick for the Lights.
Well, I'll watch this replay again, not for the foul, but to see this touch out of the air, right onto his foot. That's a poor call from our referee.
And a possible problem here for Monterey Bay. Nico Gordon is down away from the play. There he is, holding his right leg. Again, that's why we keep track of substitutions. Monterey Bay are out. They cannot make any more changes here. So if Nico Gordon can't continue, the Seasiders would be 2-0 down and down to 10. It's a decision that Jordan Stewart and his staff are going to have to mull over here. Still 5 minutes to go, but this is a result that could really help to change Las Vegas's season around. Maybe shake them out of this funk that they have been in. They've gotten some help from fans young and old tonight, that's for sure. And of course, Arozarena's saves, Johnny Rodriguez's goals. And you mentioned it, Marion, and I think it's spot on. Just a more free-flowing Las Vegas attack. They just have not been playing like this at times this season. And there have been those questions that have been posed to the lights. You have so much attacking talent, why not utilize it a little bit more? Well, they certainly have tonight. Nico Gordon will be brought back on. As the Lights nearly pounced on an opportunity there. They still might, as it's played down this far side. And for a late challenge, it is going to be a foul and a yellow card against Vaughn Koval, the substitute. Free kick for the Union. Here's Robinson. Plays a lovely ball across here. There's options for Ivanovic. Yalati. Back for Robinson. Didn't get it out of his feet quickly enough. Mayele Malongo wins a corner for Monterey Bay, one that they need to capitalize on. The Seasiders are going to spring a late surprise here. They need to capitalize on opportunities like this, and they do not on this occasion. Yalati puts it onto the roof of the net. Well, it certainly doesn't get any easier moving forward for Las Vegas. They do have to go to Indy next week. That's a really tough game. Indy 11 look to have turned a bit of a corner themselves. Then they host Spokane Velocity, USL League One in the Jägermeister Cup, as Raiko Rosarena goes down here and needs a moment. After that, by the way, the Lights then host Sac Republic on July 4th. A game they'd love to get some retribution on after Neil Collins' side put 5 past them in the Cup and in the league. Jordan Stewart's Monterey Bay as well have quite the tall tasks coming up as well. Seasiders host El Paso next week, then have to go to the Coliseum and play Oakland in the Jägermeister Cup. That's a big game for both teams. And then they go to Indy on July 5th before going to Tulsa a couple of weeks after that, and then they finish up on the road with Jägermeister Cup play at AV Alta, although I must say there, AV Alta are already eliminated from progressing to the next round. So that actually, in theory, some would say, might play into Monterey Bay's favor. We'll obviously see how all of that plays out.
Still no thank you. No thank you.
Tough schedule for both teams, you're right. And by the way, Monterey Bay after that, just to go full circle, they then host Tulsa. They played Tulsa twice in a 3 or 4 week span. And this year, that is not a nice schedule to have to play. Luke Spencer and that side have really really impressed.
No doubt. Luke Spencer has those FC Tulsa boys playing a very difficult style of soccer for opponents.
By the way, speaking of Luke Spencer, Giovanni Trace is actually the 4th youngest acting head coach in USL Championship history by coaching Las Vegas tonight. The 2nd youngest is Luke Spencer with Louisville City back in 2018. And the crazy part about that stat is Monterey Bay win a corner. 8 minutes, by the way, of stoppage time have been added on. It's a lot of time left for the Union. The youngest coach, an acting head coach, same Louisville team, 2018, Paolo Del Piccolo. That Louisville team, by the way, won the title to complete back-to-back USL Championship crowns.
And that winning mentality that Luke Spencer obviously has definitely trickled down into the way that his team plays and responds.
Well, play has been stopped here by the referee, possible head injury. So we are a minute and change into the minimum of 8 added on. There's the signal for the head injury, another look. Ooh, and there's the collision. That did look like there was some contact. And again, the referees, even if they're somewhat sure in that spot, are told just to be safe to blow the play dead. Just make sure from a player's safety standpoint that everyone's okay. It looked like it was Elijah Paul, who now is off to the side for now, but wants to come back in. We've had a stoppage here. How much of that will be impacted on stoppage time as well? We will wait and see. There is Paul trying to get back on. Moments like that, where there are stoppages in stoppage time, it is up to the 4th official and the referee in the middle of the park to keep track of that, to stop the watch, and make sure that the 8 minutes are played in full. Campuzano. As Monterey Bay need to get this forward. They've got time, but not a million minutes of it here. Ivanovic on the turn. He's dispossessed. Pearson then gives the ball back. It's a sliding challenge. That'll go out of play on the far side. And the throw was not taken from the right spot. There's still a Lights player down, meanwhile. It is Christian Pinzon, is now slowly but surely getting back to his feet. Ball's played onto this near side. Robinson heads it forward. Malongo, a push and a chase. Malongo cuts in field and tries to play a reverse ball through a sea of blue shirts, and the Lights come out with it. Vaughn Koval holds up the play.
It's really been very smart by Las Vegas Lights, except for that ball. As soon as I was about to say just how good they've been, just how professional they've been here in this second half. I talked earlier about the risk reward going forward, pushing for a third because it feels good to score, and it's been a while since they've felt that, but also realizing that now you have to mentally rein yourself back in, right? Make it a professional performance, congest your lines a little bit more. I think they found a very nice balance, not completely parking the bus, not completely sitting back, but they found a nice balance of moments to go forward and moments to be very disciplined in their defensive shape.
Ivanovic, cross into the middle, headed towards the outskirts here. Pinzon is able to work his way into and out of trouble, and then it's played all the way back to Campuzano. One other live game going on alongside ours. 60 minutes gone. Sac Republic 0, San Antonio 0. Colorado Springs did beat Oakland. That was the other result we were keeping an eye on by a goal to 0 as Rosarena misses that cross. But everyone missed it in the end. Malongo sends it right back in. Cushioned header by Noel, only as far as Galloway. And a reset for Gordon. Robinson sends it over the top and out of play. And now Monterey Bay are down to their final 2 minutes and change.
Well, Johnny Rodriguez is probably going to have to contend with one Louis City Philip Goodrum for a wonderful Player of the Week performance. Philip Goodrum joining the Louisville City club lore.
A hat tip for a hat trick. Former Tulsa man.
You'd have to argue, though, that what Johnny Rodriguez has done here tonight is a bit more impactful, just given the state where his team is at, the things that they've had to endure this week.
Could certainly make the argument. It does feel like a bounce-back kind of night overall in the USL Championship. Teams like Lexington, Indy, Rhode Island, Tampa Bay, Orange County, Colorado Springs, and now Vegas, all teams that needed a win tonight to just get back on track in some way, shape, or form, are all going to get those wins. And meanwhile here, as Vegas closes in on a victory, a referee is having a discussion here, and Rosarena has hit the deck. And the reason Monterey Bay are not happy is because they feel that he is time wasting here. But again, as we mentioned earlier, it is the referee's job to factor that in. It is a minimum of 8 minutes. It is not an 8 minutes and then we all go home. The 8 minutes have to be played in full, and that is up to the referee crew to keep track of that. So if they feel there's time wasting, they do have to stop the watch and make sure that the 8 minutes are played. That is how it goes.
And I do have to give our head referee, Christian Campo Hernandez, a bit of credit for how he's handled so many players going down in stoppage time. He's done well to give him a little bit of space to get that treatment, but almost immediately he's going over, ensuring they know that I am keeping track of this. We will be here for a minimum of 8. As best as he can, he's kept the game flowing.
And again, we've played the 8 added minutes. Now it's up to the referee to see how much longer we will go. This is all Vegas want to do at the moment. Keep it in this corner. It did go out of play. Stojanovic on debut, trying to waste some time here. Monterey Bay throw, and they have to get it up the field very quickly, and they still need to score 2 goals. Robinson, slips. Throw in for Vegas, and that may very well be that. Looks like we will play into a 100th minute. Budati's throw. Pinzon. He's up a second or two. Monterey Bay throw. Cleared forward by Malik Howell. And then nudged into the penalty area for Campuzano. Robinson runs forward with it and slips again. Maybe needs new boots. Noel gets it back for the Lights. Nice little skip challenge from Kovu, who doesn't need to do much else. And that is it, full time. Las Vegas picks up a gigantic bounce-back win over Monterey Bay. They beat the Union for the first time since 2022, and they are finally off the mat in the USL Championship. They end this long run of 6 without a win and 5 straight defeats. Johnny Rodriguez is the hero. He's also our man of the match, presented by Playbox.
No doubt about it. Not only did we see his ability to score goals, but we saw so much nuance to what he brings to this game. His ability to check down from the back line and act as not only a connector to the lines, but also as an outlet for players like Valentin Noel, who like to drive forward at the defense. And you can see Raiko Rosarena joining in on both celebrations, mind you. This is a wonderful ball delivery from Nigro, and Johnny Rodriguez does just enough to help it on. An excellent performance from a team that needed this so desperately.
On what's felt like a bounce-back Saturday in the USL Championship, the Lights do bounce back, and they beat Monterey Bay by 2-0 to stop the bleeding in the USL Championship, and it's Johnny Rodriguez who led the way with both goals. We'll step aside and wrap it up next.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Right now, only a Finitoni get a Terrible's $500 gas card with the purchase of any new Tacoma or Tundra in stock. Hurry in, offer ends June 30th only at Finley Toyota.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
At comprehensive cancer centers, the most advanced treatments and breakthrough research are helping our patients thrive. But some of our most powerful treatments are preventative. This begins together in our community through awareness, outreach, education, and support. From healthier living and self-checks to screening for early detection, we can now find and treat some cancers before they strike. We're doing this together, Southern Nevada, and teamwork saves lives.
Well, full-time here at Cashman Field in Las Vegas. Everyone wants a piece of Johnny Rodriguez after he scores both goals and leads the Lights to a 2-0 win. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, back here with you. Full-time highlights look like particularly on the road. That's a 4th road defeat in 8 for Monterey Bay in the league. But it's the Lights ending the 6-match winless run and 5 matches in a row with a defeat. Rodriguez leads the way with both goals, and the Lights get off the mat in the USL Championship. For Marion Crowder and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. So long from Las Vegas, where the Lights finally bounce back. with a 2-0 win over Monterey Bay tonight.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Ivanovic has scored championship this season. Did